Hello and welcome into the India Cricket Show here on Global Cricket Radio. I'm your host Andrew McLean, and we're looking back at the Test match at Centurion between South Africa and India. And if you're an India fan, maybe you're going to wake up around about now to a bit of a nightmare, because South Africa won the first Test match by an innings and 32 runs. So, very, very bad day for India yesterday. First of all, they didn't really restrict South Africa to a more competitive total from an Indian perspective, and then they just collapsed miserably when they batted. So, a bad start to the series for India, so they've missed the opportunity to win their first ever series in South Africa, bearing in mind that this is only a two-test series, and the second series starts just after New Year at Newlands in Cape Town. So, just recapping, at the start of day two, at the end of day two, I should say, South Africa were 256 for 5. Dean Elgar was unbeaten on 3, and Marco Jansen was there on 3. And so, at that point, as an Indian fan or as an Indian player, they would have really hoped that they could have restricted the scoring somewhat, but Elgar and Jansen went on to add a 100 to 100 for the sixth wicket, and South Africa managed to get through to 408 in response to India's 245. So really top effort by South Africa. Dean Elgar went on to make 185. Before he was caught by KL Rahul off Shardul Thakur. But probably the player of the day was Marco Jansen, actually. So initially, of course, he was batting with Elgar, and when Elgar's wicket fell at 360, Jansen managed to bat with the tail to score a further 52 runs, and Jansen finished 84 not out at the end. He was ably assisted by Gerald Coetzee, who made 19, and the last two wickets to fall were KG Rabada and Nundri Burger, who was of course on debut. So a big bit of a struggle, I guess you could say, for the Indian bowlers. Just looking at some of these bowling figures, Jasprit Bumrah, he bowled 26.4 overs. He had 4 for 69. Mohammad Siraj, 24 overs, 2 for 91. Shardul Thakur, 19 overs, 1 for 101, so a bit expensive. Prasidh Krishna, 1 for 93 off his 20, and Ravichandran Ashwin, he also bowled 19 overs. He had 1 for 41. So, India, when they came out to bat a second time, South Africa had a very healthy lead, a lead of about 150, in fact, 153. So a good start was needed by India. But unfortunately, it all kind of fell to pieces. And I think it was the very first ball, actually. Yashasvi Jaiswal was dropped by Ada Markram in the slips, Markram. But it didn't take too long for India to lose their first wicket. That was Rohit Sharma. He was bowled by Rabada for 0, and very soon after that, Jaiswal, he was caught behind off Burger for 5. So pretty horrible start by India. They were 2 for 13 at that point, and in massive need of some consolidation. Just to make South Africa bat again, really. And it came in the form of Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli. They did quite well. They added, what did they add? They added about 39 runs. Gill looked quite good at the crease, I thought, actually. He got through to 26 off 37 balls. before he was bowled by Marco Jansen for 26. And unfortunately, after that, the wheels kind of fell off. And I watched a lot of the game yesterday, and it just was not pretty viewing at all. Not pretty viewing. Some pretty bad shots, I'd have to say. So Shreyas Iyer was the next to go. He was bowled by Jansen for 6. So that brought KL Rahul to the crease. So Virat Kohli was going along quite nicely at the other end, actually, and Kohli finished up being the last man out for 76. And but KL Rahul, I thought, just played an awful shot, driving at a ball away from his body. He was taken in the slips by Markram off Berger for 4. Very next ball, Ravichandran Ashwin came out to bat, chased a wide one and hit it straight to gully, where Beddingham took the catch. So Ashwin was out for a duck. So it wasn't looking great at this point, and it was just a procession after that. Shuttle Tucker was caught Beddingham, bowled Rabada for 2. Mohammad Siraj was caught behind off Berger for 4. And as I mentioned, Kohli was the last batsman out. He made 76. He was caught Rabada, bowled Jansen for 76. So India all out for 131 in 34.1 overs. So a really, really horrible display by the Indian batsmen, and really, actually, in this match, they struggled. KL Rahul made 100 in the first innings, of course, but really India struggled to adapt to the new conditions at Newlands. And the long wait for a series win continues. Obviously now it's probably about regrouping and trying to draw the series in Cape Town, but that will be no easy feat. Normally at this time I'd be joined by Himanshu, but he's not available today, and Rahul's also, I think he's got a dentist appointment or something, so I'm kind of talking to myself, but unfortunately there's just not a lot to talk about. But if I was Rahul Dravid, the Indian coach right now, and Rohit Sharma, the captain, there's some serious questions must be asked about the shots that some of the batsmen were playing. As I say, Jaiswal dropped off I'm pretty sure it was the first ball of the innings, actually. And just a lot of catches behind the wicket, guys getting cleaned up, the ball hitting their stumps. And from a South African perspective, really impressive bowling once again from KG Rabada. He had 2 for 32. Nandri Berger on debut, really well bowled. He had 4 for 33 off 10. Marco Jansen, so to go along with his excellent batting, he took 3 for 36. So not for the Indian fans, but from a South African perspective, a very comprehensive. So whether he's going to be fit enough or not for the second test remains to be seen. So that's from a South African perspective, and from an India perspective, disappointed with their second innings batting effort. Not even making South Africa bat again, and not an innings lasting only 34 overs is not great reading. So all to do for India now. Then they've got a few days to regroup. Of course, they get a couple of days off because the match finished on the third day, and so they'll have a bit of time to recuperate as they move down from Centurion down to Cape Town just prior to New Year, and then on the 3rd of January we'll be underway again. So that's all we've got to say for today. I'd like to be presenting some good news for Indian fans, but unfortunately there's just not a lot to write home about. And of course India is missing some key players. Of course they're missing Mohammad Shami, they're missing Ravindra Jadeja. Ashwin didn't have the impact that he might have liked, particularly with his batting. Not a great match for Ashwin with his bat. So yes, all remains to be seen what happens in Cape Town. So that's it for today. It's a short but sweet show here on Global Cricket Radio. We'll catch you again on this show when we move on to Newlands in the new year. Thanks for listening in, everyone.